Sorry about all that noise. My dog is having a fight with his toy over there, so ignore all the rumbling. But today we're going to get started. We're going to look at what we're doing today. I'll go over the activity just like I would do in normal class, and then we're going to break into breakout rooms, and I'll explain the activity in just a little bit. So let me share my screen with all of you, and we can talk over what we're doing today. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So let's take a look at just what we're doing in general. So I'm glad you all made it to the Zoom meeting. That's what Thursdays will always look like. I'll have that Zoom meeting up at the top, easy for you to find. And of course, I did say come to your scheduled class, so I appreciate y'all doing that. It makes it easier and makes it so we have less people in the Zoom class and I can touch base with you more one-on-one instead of having 40 students in the classroom. But if you do have something come up or if you need to go to the other 11 a.m. section, just let me know, or you can just watch the video recording and we can talk independently. I'll also have Canvas chat open. It hasn't been giving me notifications, so I'll be a little more diligent about finding that Canvas chat and making sure I'm answering those questions. For today, you were supposed to go through that discussion board and look at these questions, and for homework for Tuesday, you will respond to a peer for that. So you'll review your peers' answers to that discussion post from Wednesday, and you'll respond to two classmates, either how you related to their experience or how you learned from them. Okay, and then you'll add those ideas to a group Google Doc that you'll see at the end of the day today. Okay, and then make sure while we're working today, you have the list of content criteria open and the course outcomes. You can find that if you click here, it'll take you to the syllabus page. And if you just scroll down a little bit through the syllabus, you'll find the content criteria, which are those course outcomes. What are you supposed to learn at the end of this course? Okay, so I'll take a quick pause. Do any of you have any questions, concerns? You can pop them into chat or turn on your mics. All right, I don't see any questions, but of course pop those into chat if you see those or if you have any concerns while we're talking. I'm going to talk about our example. Where you can find that example is if you go to modules, and it will be right on A4's page just for ease for all of you. So if you go to major writing assignments and prompts, click on A4, you'll be able to see that there is not only the prompt, a YouTube video explaining this assignment. So if you have any questions, you can go over that video again just to double check you're not missing anything. And then there's a sample portfolio here, and that will open up this Word document. Are you all able to see this Word document? You can give a thumbs up or pop it into chat that you can see this Word document. Perfect. Saw a thumbs up, so hopefully that means all of you can see that. So this is a great way to show you what organization is going to look like and kind of what content you're going to be required to put into your reflection portfolio. So you can see there's part 1, letter to the instructor. Of course, you can refer to me my first name, that's totally fine. You'll write your letter and then you'll do part 2 and revision plan, and it's totally okay if it's in steps or bullet points. Works perfectly for me. All right, so we're going to look at this letter and how they addressed the outcome of deepen rhetorical knowledge. So if you see on the syllabus, that's the first criteria, that first outcome that you're supposed to meet is deepen rhetorical knowledge. So focus on rhetorical situation, that rhetorical triangle, audience, purpose, context, all of those things. Taking a look at your use of voice, tone, format. So looking at, did you meet the genre in a rhetorically appropriate way? And then writing and reading several genres for that specific discourse community. So specifically people who write to scholarly journals, professors, academics, those are all within a specific discourse community. So did you write specifically for that audience? So let's see how this student answered this. I'll read this out for you. The first outcome is to deepen rhetorical knowledge, which I only vaguely understood at the beginning of the semester. Honestly, all semester long, I thought I understood rhetorical situation, meaning I really did understand that those components are and that they're important considerations for writing, but it didn't sink in that I had to consider these components when writing until I started reevaluating my papers. This is also a good point to recognize that you might have to start revising or at least looking back at my feedback before you can start to reflect upon what you've learned and what you needed to do to better understand these content outcomes. They go on to say the stakeholder proposal was one of the assignments which asked us to consider the needs of the specific audience. So this is where they jump to how they met this course outcome and what assignment allowed them to meet or work with this course outcome. And when I look back on my audience analysis homework for the stakeholder proposal too, I realized that I had thought through who this person was, but hadn't actually kept them in mind while I wrote. I addressed the person by name and described a solution that seemed to make sense to them, but I was not able to show why the solution would appeal to their values. When I realized I wasn't actually writing with my audience in mind, it started to make sense why my grades weren't as strong as I imagined they would be. So that is part of the rhetorical triangle audience, is something I'm definitely starting to see more clarity. So, what I think is important about this paragraph is that it doesn't say, I meant this, I did it, it's perfect, right? It recognizes where there are some fallings out, where you understand, and how you're going to help yourself later in further classes or with other types of activities. How are you going to make sure you understand that audience portion of that rhetorical triangle? Okay. What are your questions on how to address course outcomes? You can put them in chat, you can turn on your mic. Okay, so if you do have questions, that is all right. We're going to pop into breakout rooms and we're going to focus on the rest of these course outcomes. We're going to summarize them in our own words, and we're going to think about activities that we did during the semester that helped us meet or helped us understand these course outcomes better. So I will put this into chat, this Google Doc. Let me get a sharing link. So go ahead and open this Google Doc with me, or this Google Slides that you can find in chat. And I'm going to assign you to breakout rooms. So the breakout rooms will be numbered. There will be 4 of them. So whichever room you are in correlates to whatever slide you're going to work on. So what you're going to do is once you're in breakout rooms, you're going to, if you feel comfortable, turn your camera on, turn your mics on, and start having conversations about what this content outcome means to you. Have a little discussion about how would you summarize these criteria in your own words, and have a conversation about what activities and assignments did we use that helped you meet and understand this course outcome. All right, any questions before I break you off into breakout rooms? All right, I'm going to split you off into breakout rooms now. We'll be in there for about 20 minutes and I'll pop in for a couple minutes, but I'll give you most of the time to work independently and I'll pop in at the very end. All right, so it's going to be random, so I don't know who you're going to be assigned to, but I'll pop in occasionally and then I will let you know when we're headed back. All right, go ahead and join whenever you're ready. All right, and for the recording, we're going to just pause so that everyone can have some time, but then we'll come back together and do a little presentation. Hello, welcome back. We'll wait for everyone to join us. And we'll start a little bit of presentations. I'll share this with you so we can all see. All right, I think everyone is back. So let's go ahead and get started. So whoever was a part of group one and wanted to present, let's go ahead and talk just about for a minute what you wrote on how to summarize this content activity or this outcome and what activities you used.
Yeah, so to summarize it, we basically said that like to know how to apply, edit, and revision skills, knowing how to peer review and knowing how to look over your own work and correct it and then understand what you're correcting. And then for examples, we said that the peer reviews help us with that. And then after the peer reviews, when we can look over like us peer reviewing other people's, and then after other people peer review ours, then we can look over it and correct it. And then also A4, what our next assignment is also doing that.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I think that's a great example. Even thinking about the preparations you had to do for A4, right? So while you're writing that reflection letter, you can be like, just the metacognition from preparing for this letter helped me deepen my experience in writing and helped a little bit of that peer review too, because we'll do peer review for A4 next week as well. Great, awesome. Thanks, Anna. All right, let's go to the second slide. So who wanted to present on this one?
I can.
Thanks, Kayla.
So we said that this was kind of, well, first that you had to like kind of understand like the background of your topic and then like understand how this is important and kind of like connect that to your writing. And then also that was important to like understand your own topic, but also be able to see different viewpoints and that we could address that in a counter argument. And then our examples of activities was using counter arguments in the A2 paper and then peer reviewing someone else's paper.
Good, yeah, really thinking about that counter argument is great. You can even use those examples from your counter argument, kind of diving into what you talked about in A2 and how you addressed it, how you researched it. I think that's really awesome. Good. All right, source or slide 3. Let's talk about sources and evidence. This one was a little simple, but who wanted to present on this one?
Cool. So we had two parts to it. The first being that you needed to be able to distinguish between good and bad sources. And then the second was that you need to be able to cite whatever sources you have, whether that be in-text citations or at the end of your paper. So for examples of this, in class, we did practice distinguishing good and bad sources. You gave us 3 sources and we had to figure out which one was the bad one inside of it. And then we also developed citations, the end of paper citations without the use of a citation machine, as to really get a deeper understanding of what exactly is happening there.
Good, yeah, I think you summarized that nicely and gave examples really well of what we did in class because using sources and evidence can seem secondary and can seem like just something you have to do for a composition class, but it really helps you understand the discourse community around citations and sources and also helps you know how to evaluate sources well. So good work in identifying that. Thanks, Nathan. All right, let's look at this fourth one. I know there's not words on here. It might be my fault because I didn't give you editing capabilities early on. So I'll write what you're presenting on. So who for group 4 wants to present for us?
I can go ahead and present. Yeah, we couldn't figure out how to edit it, so we just kind of typed it up somewhere else. But in summary, we ended up coming to the fact that this kind of helps you provide depth to like the explanation and format of the paper and for the paper using like a basic structure while utilizing more advanced writing techniques. And then for like some examples, we kind of agreed on like formatting different types of papers in partners and being able to like walk through with one another and be able to like just critique on different structures and just building that basic like platform for where the paper could be on, or that on where it will sit, and then like peer reviews as well. And that was about it.
Perfect. Good work. Yeah, thanks for writing it somewhere else too. Apologies for not getting that to you sooner. I didn't make that available for you, but I'm glad you wrote it somewhere else so we could get it on here. This will be available to you on Canvas too, so you can look back on this so you won't have to sit there and write your reflection paper and go, how am I going to summarize this? You can come back to this activity and know that your peers have helped you summarize, and I'll also give you all another document that has summaries of these outcomes for you all to better understand and see different explanations of these outcomes to give you more ideas on how to reflect upon those. But good, really great work. Thank you all for working together in breakout rooms. I know this is a strange activity and it feels weird to try and work together with computer screens and without seeing some of our faces sometimes, so I know that's difficult. So I appreciate y'all working to make this possible. Are there any questions, concerns about how to reflect upon these course outcomes? Okay, so for the rest of class, what you're going to do is if you look on our today's page for December 3rd, you'll see that after class there's a discussion post. So if you click on that, all I'm going to have you do is this traffic light reflection should take like 10 minutes. So don't take too much longer than 10 minutes. Shouldn't take up too much of your time. But I want you to think about green light. What activities of this semester do you feel have been beneficial to your writing? So what things would you give a green light to do next semester? Yellow light are what activities do you feel you could have been improved upon or in terms of helping you develop as a writer, or how would you change this activity to make it more helpful or more suitable to who you are as a learner? So this would be something like, yeah, it was fine, but I would alter it a little bit for a few students in the future. And red light would be, what activities do you feel were not at all helpful to your development as a writer that you felt maybe were a waste of time or you just didn't feel were important to you? I really evaluate or value your reflection, and this helps me know what helped you, but also it gives you time to think about all the activities we did and could use some of those for your reflection paper. Okay, so that's what we'll do for the rest of class. I'll be here on chat. I'm going to keep chat open because I did miss one of your chats, so Anna, apologies that I missed your chat, and Robert. I am going to fix that link and I'll put that on today's page. Okay, but I'll keep that open, and of course email me if you can't reach me on chat and let me know if you want to talk for the rest of the day. But otherwise, this is what we're going to do for Zoom next week as well, is meet and go into breakout rooms and then work independently. So if you don't have any questions, you're good to go, and I will see you all.
That discussion board is currently locked.
It's locked? What? Let's see. Thanks, Nathan. Wow. Oh, I see what happened. Oh, available from. See, this box is usually due. My bad. All right, there you go. Should have it available. Thanks for letting me know. Go ahead and do that reflection, and then your homework is just to work on A4, and then I don't think there's much else for you for next Tuesday. Oh, and then reviewing your peers, like I talked about earlier. And then I'll put that brainstorm doc open, but that's optional. All right. Otherwise, you're good to go, and I will see you next week. Thanks all.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Have a good day.